Hello and welcome to my tutorial for LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. This time we are doing the level 1-1 but showing off the 0 studs route for this level. So this one is a little bit more technical. Hopefully before you watch this, I recommend you watch my replay story or just regular studs route for the level, because this tutorial is going to be very much focused on making sure you get 0 studs instead. Assuming you know kind of the basis of the level already. So we're going to start the level straight away, and I'm going to explain what we're going to do here. So the idea is we want to enter Gringotts Vault with the magic number of less than 2,000 studs on player 1 and less than 2,690 studs on player 2. And the way we do that, part of it, as you saw, I moved Harry out of the way once I'd put the lock in place, and that's to make sure he doesn't collect any studs from that. So Harry's at 830 now. That's most of the studs that he can collect before he enters Gringotts Vault. Hagrid is only on 10 at the moment. That's absolutely fine. That's actually quite good RNG. But as we go through, there is more that we need to collect. So I'm going to go through this door here, and once again I'll do the normal build, and I'll push Hagrid forwards a bit, but not as far forwards as I would do in a replay story. And then we have these studs on the ground, which I kind of want to jump over. Unfortunately, I didn't manage it that time, but basically in that area, if you can avoid as many as possible, that's good. We have these studs in the middle of the floor here. Obviously, you want to avoid them, so I want to move Hagrid to the left of them and Harry to the right of them. And we avoided all the 100 studs, which is quite nice. We avoided the golds. We caught a silver, but that's fine. But now we make our way to here. Whoops. Picked up a couple more than I would have wanted with Hagrid. But by Harry, we've got these 2 golds. There was 3, but I collected one. These ones we have to get, because that is blocking the end door for the level. And if you don't get them, you can't get 0 studs. So I'll pick those up with Harry. And then I'll do the same 1P2C as you do in replay story. Although this time round, not very well. And then we make sure we move forwards with Hagrid here, because Hagrid we have a bit more leeway on studs. So Hagrid's up to 1740, so he's able to collect that blue just fine. And then as we make our way through here, I'm being very careful to stay away from kind of the walls here. You can't see them, but basically along all these walls, I might just pick up one. Unfortunately, I picked up a blue there. But along all those walls, there are studs for you to pick up, and you want to try and avoid as many of them as possible. So yeah, staying away from the walls, and then waving at Grip Hook here. And then Grip Hook comes over, opens this. So this is the same. You just want to make sure you aren't collecting any more studs. These gold studs in the middle, you have the line of three gold studs. You can avoid them all with Grip Hook and player 1. If you are tight for studs with Hagrid, do not get them. So if Hagrid is at around, or anything above 2,370 now, I'd say, don't get them. If Hagrid is below that, then it's absolutely fair game for you to get them, and you can grab them absolutely fine. So right now, I can go and get those 3 studs with Hagrid. With P1, I do a small little jump, just to make sure I have enough clearance from those studs. And then I activate the vault. Hagrid can walk forwards and pick up those. And what I'm going to do while this is building, I'm actually pushing Hagrid out of the way, because we don't want Hagrid to collect any more right now. So I'll push Hagrid out of the way, and when this painting drops, this is the one part that is RNG. As it is slightly random as to whether 1,000 always drops from the painting, but it can either drop in the form of blue stud, one singular blue stud, or it can drop in the form of multiple silver and gold studs. If it's a silver and gold studs, then most of the time you are okay. But if you get really bad RNG, you can pick up like up to 900 of them. And that is very bad, because normally you arrive here with about 1,200. If it's the blue stud, then you have to basically pray for RNG that the blue stud does not land on you. If you collect it, then obviously that's pretty bad. But yeah, I think that's everything. So once the painting is enough built, I can move away with Hagrid, and activate the painting immediately. We saw I collected 2,860 that time. Because I collected the extra 1,000 from just showing that there's studs by the rows where the goblins are. Normally you will end up on about, or I would have ended up on 1,870 instead. But then we go through here, and in this section there's a bit of 1p2c that you need to manage for this. Basically, this is where we get all our deaths in, to be able to get rid of all these studs. So we lose 1,000 per death, and we have to get them all now. So what I'm going to do with player 1 is player 1 will jump off the edge and then switch. And then as Harry has another 2,000 he needs to get rid of this time, I'm going to jump, do another death, and then jump and do a death again. And I was trying to switch on that death, but unfortunately it came through late. But you see now player 1 is on 0 studs. Player 2, meanwhile, will go over here, collect those few studs, and activate the strength handle. And then player 1 will obviously come over and open the vault. Player 2 now has to get rid of their studs. So player 2 will jump down here, switch, hopefully. The switching didn't work that time. Or that time. But jump and switch, there we go. I can show it once more, jump and switch. And then there we go, both players are on 0 studs. Once both are on 0, you can go through the door. And you have to be careful here. This is like the final 4 seconds of movement in the level, but there are some studs here which can be very annoying to pick up. So you've got to make sure you go around them, take a slightly wide berth around them, and then complete the level. I'll now show that again, but go through it slightly faster. This time round, I am aiming to get under 2,000 with player 1, and under 2,690 with player 2 by the time I enter Gringotts Vault. So again, same as normal up here. Harry's going to get around 830, that's standard. I am going to get worse RNG with Hagrid this time. He's got about 180 more than he did last time. And it doesn't look like we got very good RNG from that either. But the good thing is most of them went on to Hagrid. And Hagrid we tend to have room to spare because of the flexibility of those 300. So now a bit of 1p2c. You saw I collected the gold studs here with Harry while on the way. But yeah, so this time Hagrid is on 2,080. Optimally, he only collects 600 inside Gringotts, which means we have 10 studs of leeway. So I'm now making sure that Harry doesn't touch any of the sides, because that would be bad. But I think we're pretty good to set it up this time. We'll then go through here. And again, Hagrid kind of takes a wide berth from the sides, makes sure he doesn't accidentally pick up any more studs. And then we'll lift this up, and Griphook pushes him back a bit. And it looks like we got good RNG on player 1 this time. We got down to 1,750, which is really good. Now, the deaths I'm going to take in this section are going to be really quick. So jump, switch, and then I'm intentionally timing the next jump switch so that Griphook has given enough time to respawn. But there we go, and that works really well, and also none of the studs came back onto the stage, which is very useful. That's one thing you really want to avoid. You want to jump quite far out. But then we can complete the section, and Harry's just going to give these last few studs a wide berth. And that is 1-1 complete in the 0 stud strategy. And that saves, in an any percent run, which is the only time that it's useful, that saves probably around 10 seconds if you do it optimally, because it saves about 15 seconds worth of status screen and takes about 5 seconds to set up. So thank you very much for watching.